the key of the race will be the manage of the rear tire. I think the last part of the race will be very difficult and much slower than the first laps, but nothing. This is one of our stronger points.
Asia Oceania Tour.
The key of the race will be the manage of the rear tire. I think the last part of the race will be very difficult and much slower than the first laps, but nothing. This is one of our stronger points.
Asia Oceania Tour. As we get a quick look through the grid, we'll leave you to view that yourselves at home as we join Alberto Puig, Honda team manager, Juan Mir 7th, Luca Marini with potential surely from 13th on the grid. What potential do those two have? Let's get the thoughts of Alberto with Jack.
Yeah, you'd have to say a frustrating Saturday morning for both Honda guys. Joan and Luca looked extremely fast on race rhythm. Qualifying, I guess, didn't go to plan. Alberto, what's going to be possible here for the pair of them?
Well, yeah, it was a pity to qualify because we frankly we expected more, but things are how they are. And only problem of this is, I mean, Joan still, because he's third row, but for Luca, fifth row is not that easy, but both they got the rhythm and the bikes are more or less working.
So then, Pecco Bagnaia, for just the third time in 2025, finds himself in pole position, does his customary rub of the tank on the factory Ducati. He's been here before, pole in 2023. As we get a quick look through the grid, we'll leave you to view that yourselves at home as we join Alberto Puig, Honda team manager, Juan Mir 7th, Luca Marini with potential surely from 13th on the grid. What potential do those two have? Let's get the thoughts of Alberto with Jack.
Yeah, you'd have to say a frustrating Saturday morning for both Honda guys. Joan and Luca looked extremely fast on race rhythm. Qualifying, I guess, didn't go to plan. Alberto, what's going to be possible here for the pair of them?
Well, yeah, it was a pity to qualify because we frankly we expected more, but things are how they are. And only problem of this is, I mean, Joan still, because he's third row, but for Luca, fifth row is not that easy, but both they got the rhythm and the bikes are more or less working.
So then, Pecco Bagnaia, for just the third time in 2025, finds himself in pole position, does his customary rub of the tank on the factory Ducati. He's been here before, pole in 2023.
I think the last part of the race will be very difficult and much slower than the first laps, but nothing. This is one of our stronger points.
Asia Oceania Tour. Full throttle though, isn't it now? Lights out, we're racing him on a GP here then in Malaysia. Once again, he's nailed the start of a pole position as the 63 bike of Bagnaia. Look at Pedro Acosta once again, capitalising on that missile KTM. He gets the drop on Alex Marquez in the run down into the first corner. Bagnaia leads and Acosta from the second row immediately up into second place. Aldeguer is trying to tough it out here with Quartararo going down the hill into turn 2. Quartararo's had a really good start. He's from the second row up into fourth as well.
Quartararo wasn't letting him have it. He holds on to fourth place. Morbidelli is the big loser, and Alex Marquez, if he wants to go after Pecco Bagnaia, needs to pass Acosta quickly.
And he has done. He picks up Acosta and runs Acosta out through the paintwork on the outside of turn 4. So Alex getting very aggressive early on here, through on Acosta in that fourth corner.
So the Hondas have already swapped around. Marini's up to 7th. We saw Mir getting pushed way wide through turn 3. There is Mir up behind the VR Police Ducati. In fact, he has now repassed Marini. They're 7th and 8th.
Poor start for Bezzecchi. A lot of work to do coming from 14th on the grid. More work to do for the winner of the last 2 sprints over in Australia and Indonesia. Bez down in 16th.
It wasn't just Pedro Acosta's KTM. There was fast starting. Brad Binder all the way up into 12th place. Mir attacking once again. He crashed here yesterday into turn 9. This time he nearly runs into Frankie Morbidelli.
Mir and Morbidelli, 2 riders who you don't want on your rear tyre in a Grand Prix. Bastianini just picked off Ralph Fernandez further down the field as Mir cuts a real tight inside line to send it on the inside of Morbidelli through 11. I think Morbidelli's going to just drop back ahead of the Spaniard. He does indeed as they drop down now through turn 12. So Bastianini up into 17th. Poor start for some of the Aprilias. Fernandez back in 18th. Bezzecchi's trying to work his way forward now up into P14.
And Alex Marquez has jumped right onto the rear tyre of Pecco Bagnaia. Whether this is Bagnaia being a bit cautious with his rear tyre early on, or whether Bagnaia is macking a little bit of front-end confidence, Alex Marquez has caught it very quickly, out sideways, out of control on the way into turn 15.
On lap 1, in fact, nobody made bigger gains than Binder on the factory KTM from 18th up into 11th as Alex Marquez goes on the inside. Bagnaia, well, he was aggressive, wasn't he, on the first lap at turn 4 on Acosta. He's paid the same move through on Alex. Got into the title line there. Through 5 goes Bagnaia, but it's Alex Marquez that leads.
Bagnaia wanted to try the Jorge Martin move from last year, didn't he, into turn 5, couldn't get it done. So
on that medium front tyre, we're going to stay on board now as Acosta almost runs into the backers further down the field. That's Aldeguer versus Mir. That's some fight between the 2 Spaniards at the moment. It's in the hands of Mir. He's going to be powerless now, isn't he? They go side by side, Aldeguer versus Mir. Who's going to be winning the game with there on the brakes? Aldeguer's got the inside line. This is a battle for 5th. Mir goes around the outside. They almost take each other out on that run down into the first corner. Saying thank you very much goes Morbidelli now up into P6.
Yeah, this is crucial time that Aldeguer is losing. We think he's got the pace to potentially win this race and fight later on as Alex Marquez darts up into the distance. Once again, Bagnaia is fighting a rearguard action against the KTM of Acosta.
He's got nothing in the braking zone, has he, at all? At the moment, that medium front tyre is not working out for Bagnaia at all. Alex Marquez passed him going into 4. That's brilliant by Bagnaia on the inside of Acosta going through 5. You can almost hear the crowd singing themselves hoarse in the main grandstand here. Some battle is between Bagnaia and Acosta, but it's playing into hands, isn't it? This is perfect for Alex at the front of this Grand Prix.
Well, Bagnaia knows how hard Acosta is to overtake, so he doesn't want to have to overtake him at any stage. So he's defending for all he's worth at the moment is Bagnaia, but Alex Marquez is already the thick end of a second up the road.
At least we can see on the onboard from Acosta as Acosta does take the inside line going into turn 9. That's a lovely move. Is he going to run a little bit hot? Bagnaia will try and sweep around the outside and does so as they go through 10. The onboard from Acosta there, we could clearly see he wasn't working the sprint yesterday. The rear eye device on Bagnaia's GP25 is fully functioning in this Grand Prix.
He was certainly fast even without it yesterday. Maybe he wishes he didn't have it again at the moment. We ride on board them with Acosta through 12. Now the 2 right-handers are 13 and 14. And we know how strong that KTM is in a straight line. He'll follow Bagnaia now and try and attack him once again into the final corner.
Pedro, a pest here.
So an awful long way for these tyres to go. Alex Marquez leads on a 1:59.3. Bagnaia with a personal best. He was 5 thousandths faster.
On board with Mir attacking Quartararo's factory MR. We know how good, how late on the brakes Quartararo is, and he needed it down into that first corner. What a shot this is. Is Mir going to try and cut to the inside line, attack the Frenchman downhill into turn 2? Well, that was his plan, but Quartararo just too fast, too nimble on the agile M1 through the first sector. On board now with Mir, tyre shredding turn 3. This is where you really are going to have to. We know it's so good, so confident, so much trust in the front end of that M1.
Looks like Bagnaia might be closing this down as they just file through the shot. We'll see through the third sector whether he is getting any closer to Alex Marquez as we watch the battle up behind them. It's still around 0.8 of a second. He's taking a tenth back that he lost in the second sector, back in the third sector. So Alex Marquez at the moment keeping Pecco Bagnaia at arm's length, but all of them will be a little bit cautious about pushing too hard this early in the race.
Mir got great corner speed through 14 there, and I was just thinking he's going to line this up. That was all set up because Mir was superb going through 14. Look at that, he's pushing in the front, sliding the rear. He's almost in downtown Kuala Lumpur, buying himself a t-shirt in Chinatown at the moment, isn't he, Juan Mir? He was so good going through turn 14, made that move on Quartararo on the run down to 50, and then just got in that little bit hot, and now he's got to do all the hard work all over again.
Well, that's how hard you have to try and brake to
here, further down the field. You're just getting a blast from the engine in front of you, high exhaust fumes in your face. So many times you hear the riders, they struggle to even regulate their breathing as Marini runs it a little bit wide. That's going to allow the Gian Antonio to pounce on his fellow Italian. So the Gian Antonio then now up into 9th place. Yeah, I mean, just to try and catch your breath in this battle, just how severe these conditions are. Alex, 0.8 of a second once again clear. Bagnaia, fastest rider in that top 3 on the last lap was Acosta, who is doing superbly. Benteke comes from a long way back. Has he got the inside line on Binder? Well, he's got the inside line. I'm not sure it's the right line to attack Binder going through turn 1. Binder was always going to top it out there, wasn't he? He's aggressive as the little South African, and he stands firm and holds on to that 11.
He had the line, but Binder ripped it away from him. Is Mir this time going to get the move done? Once again, he's sideways on the inside. Quartararo had his own moment, and that might have just given Mir the crucial metre or two that he needs. The 2020 world champion is now up into 4th place.
What an onboard shot that was, as we just saw Quartararo's boot come into view as Joan Mir set up the move on the climb up into...
He was busy battling Mir, but he did do a 2:01.3 last time round, so his pace is...
Can't sing the praises enough once again of Acosta.
Battle with his teammate, actually, Jack Miller, for 17th and 18th.